The boat appeared at dusk, moored to a little dock just off the shore of the river. You've walked along this river often, and you don't remember the dock having been there before. The first pink streaks of sunset twinkle at the water's edge, illuminating the boat, which looks like a fortune teller's caravan, fashioned into a floating vessel. It is painted an emerald green, with an arched roof, shingled in cedar. Arching windows run along its sides, with matching doorways on either end. A single lantern is suspended from a curling wrought iron brace, casting a small pool of light on the dark wooden boards of the deck. The water laps against the boat, rhythmic and soft. Every few moments, the creak of wood ambles up from the shore. You are steeped in the scent of river mist, curling around the bare trees that reach over the water's surface. Tiny green buds dot the tips of their branches, plump with mist, lending a fresh green scent to the cooling evening air. Your gaze follows the soft sway of the boat, rocking in the gentle current. A small flame burns within the glass of the lantern light, flickering every now and then, and has begun to glow brighter as the sky above deepens into darker pink. Nighttime birds have just begun to sing. Their soft, warbling melodies lilt out over the water. You are waiting for a glimpse of whoever might be inside. Who has brought this mysterious boat to the water's edge? As you wonder this, a warm light flickers on through one of the small arched windows. You narrow your eyes to peer through the darkening evening shadows. Through the window, you can just make out what looks like a tiny kitchen. There is a hob with a black teapot perched on top. A bundle of what looks like dried herbs is hanging in the window. All at once, the scent of something reaches your nose. You can't quite place it. Smoky, herbal, the faintest faintest hint of springtime flower, and something else, something familiar. You breathe it in, drawing breath slowly through your nostrils, filling your lungs. And as you exhale, you feel your whole body soften. There is something magical about this boat, this scent, the twilight sparkling over the river, soft and inviting. The evening breeze ripples over your skin, fresh and cool. It ripples out across the water too, scattering the last traces of sunset pink into twinkles that drift away. A satisfying weight settles over you, a gentle fatigue that invites your muscles to relax. Another deep breath lifts your shoulders, your chest. A deep breath out, releasing all the energy of the day. You bask in the sensation, stillness, quiet, patiently waiting, though you aren't sure for what. Just as you begin to think of continuing on, a small figure appears at the edge of the trail, where it meets the little dock. It takes your eyes a moment to adjust to the soft grays and blues of nightfall. As the figure comes into focus, you see that it is a bunny. Long, slender ears stand tall atop its head, alert, yet relaxed. He has a soft, rounded back and wide, luminous eyes, which you realize are looking directly at you. To your delight, the bunny wiggles its nose as your eyes meet. The two of you are held for a moment in a spell of stillness. A sense of peace travels between you, a feeling of calm and deep well-being. You smile to yourself in the darkening evening. moment later, the bunny turns and begins to hop down the dock towards the bobbing little boat. He pauses near the gate on the boat's side and looks back at you, waiting. His long ears twitch in the soft breeze. He sits perfectly still. Naturally, you begin to follow. As soon as you take a step onto the dock, the world around you feels different, softer, quieter. The water lapping against the wood is deeply calming, welcoming. Each creak of wooden board beneath your feet, a gentle encouragement to continue. The bunny waits at the boat's edge a moment more, watching you draw nearer. The last glint of setting sun has slipped beneath the horizon, and the first stars of twilight are glimmering into view overhead. The night feels alive, conscious, and kind. The herbal, smoky scent that found you earlier is deeper here. It mingles with the freshness of the river, the sweetness of the spring night. As you near the little gate that leads onto the boat deck, the bunny hops aboard, disappearing from sight. You pause, allowing your gaze to drift along the length of the boat. It feels very old here, made of beautiful wood that's been hand carved, hand shaped. Each curve, each join, a tiny work of art. The boat has a name scrawled along its side, though you don't recognize the letters. They appear to be symbols, straight lines weaving with curving swoops, etched into the wood. At this precise moment, they are glowing a pale silver, as though illuminated from within with starlight. The glow pulses softly in the dark. Though you don't know their meaning, something in your body seems to understand. The boat is welcoming you in its own quiet way. Grasping the railing, you step onto the deck. It sways gently underfoot, creaking wood, lapping water, evening bird song all around you. The stars are beginning to glitter above, their light shimmering in the quiet current of the river. The firelight from the lantern dims a little, as though allowing you to see the starlight even more clearly. The change draws your eye toward the arch of the cabin doorway, where you see the bunny is waiting. He is grooming his fur, head tucked down, eyes closed, ears drawn back along his fluffy little head. A woman steps into the arch of the doorway, a soft smile on her face. She is gazing down at the bunny, and she reaches a graceful hand down to pet his fur. The bunny seems to take a deep breath as she does, relaxing under her touch. You can just hear a little puff of air as he exhales. The woman is dressed in flowing garments that seem to skim and hug her figure all at once. Her feet are bare. Her hair is loose, and she moves as though she is very comfortable in the world. The expression on her face is smooth, serene. An energy seems to pulse around her, like the starlight in the symbols on the boat side. Soft, luminous, and steady. She scoops the bunny into her arms and nuzzles him against her cheek. He looks utterly relaxed, content as she strokes his fur. Your eyes meet with the woman's, and the feeling of familiarity deepens. She dips her chin in greeting, and you feel enveloped in a sense of welcome. You follow as she turns into the cabin. The boat sways softly as you step inside. The motion is rhythmic, relaxing. You find yourself standing in the little kitchen you glimpsed from the shore. There is the little black teapot sitting on the hob. The bunch of dried herbs hanging in the rounded window. You let your gaze travel along the narrow length of the little boat's interior, taking in all the details of this cozy, mysterious place. A wooden workbench stands beneath the small arched windows. The wood of the bench is dark and gleaming, like the boards outside on the deck. It is laced with what look like threads of gold. They twinkle, catching the firelight. This is a magical bench, one that infuses any tasks worked upon it with mystical energies. It is filled with tools for working this craft. Clusters of twinkling crystals, small obsidian stones arranged in a geometric grid, a thick pillar candle with dripping wax mounted on a simple cast iron candle holder. The candle smells faintly of beeswax, sweet, earthy. There is a bundle of long wooden matches that stand in a creamy white ceramic cup. Small amber glass dropper bottles are nestled on a silver tray. Each one contains a different essential oil. A sheaf of handmade paper rests in a little drawer. And beside it is a small glass pot of black ink and what looks to be an ancient fountain pen with a delicate handle carved from smooth weathered wood. Its tip is silver and etched with a rune. There is a soft, leather-bound journal. You can see glimpses of beautiful handwriting scrawled in that same black ink from the edges of the paper. Your fingers trace the items. Each one seems to breathe under your touch, infused with purpose, intention, and love. You breathe in the presence of their energy. And you let them feel yours. A long, slender attam has been placed on a soft leather mat. This is a blade for carving a circle of energy within which intentions can be distilled into spells. It glows like the symbols carved into the side of the boat, imbued with starshine. Tarot cards are tucked into an antique velvet sleeve, their edges dipped in silver. One of them has been drawn and laid beside the velvet-clad deck, face up. On its face is an ethereal painting of a woman kneeling beside a flowing midnight stream, a soft expression on her face. Above her twinkle thousands of stars. She is dressed in luminous robes and holds a stoneware vessel in her hands, from which she is tipping a cascade of water over the stream. The water is silvery, shining with that same starlight. As you gaze at the card, it seems to come to life. The stream in the painting shimmers, its gentle current flowing towards you. The woman moves, drawing the now empty vessel towards her heart, then holding it up towards the sky. Starlight gathers into a glowing orb and drifts down to her waiting arms, disappearing into the vessel. She holds it close to her chest again, whispering an incantation before reaching over the stream to tip the light into the water. You look up to smile to the woman of the boat with delight at the sight of this, and see that she is now kneeling beside a miniature wood stove in the corner of the room. She meets your gaze, and her eyes twinkle with laughter, acknowledging your delight in the tarot deck. A shared, wordless moment of whimsy and appreciation between you both. heavy cast iron of the wood stove squeaks as she shifts open the little door. She stokes the fire with a longer piece of firewood. The soft scrape and shuffle of the ashes on the wood. The quiet pops and crackles as new flames take light. Simple sounds that soothe your senses. You realize that this little stove is the source of the smoky, spring-tinged scent that found you along the river path and has been lingering with you since. The woman is tossing fresh dried herbs atop the flames she's just kindled. The room fills with the essences of those healing plants. The herbs curl and spark in the heat, glowing bright as their smoke mingles with the firewood. It is though they are present in this room, calling something in a gentle ceremony of fire. The spirit of springtime, perhaps. The woman is whispering to them spell work, coaxing their potential into being. The bunny is curled near her feet, cozy in the warmth of the stove. The firelight is pleasantly dim, its soft glow illuminating the room. It was this firelight you saw from the path, that warm light that bloomed into view. You stand quiet and relaxed, watching it dance on the walls. You notice the walls are swathed in a hue the color of the night sky just after the sun has set. Swirls of deep purples, inky blues, and onyx black, all imbued with a subtle sheen. Is it paint? You lean in closer to see. No, it's more alive than that. It has a depth you can't quite identify, as though the walls were enchanted to reflect the night sky. Your gaze softens as you study the colors, the depth. As you stare, the field of night sky deepens. Stars begin to twinkle into view. Distant stars that stretch away from you, hinting at the vast expanse of the universe around you, of other worlds, soft dimensions of consciousness. A dreamy sensation is settling into the very heart of your being. A hand lights upon your shoulder, and you turn to see the woman of the boat beside you. The bunny is cradled in the crook of her arm, and a mug of steaming golden tea is on the counter beside you. She scoots the mug closer to you, ceramic scraping softly across the wood of the bench. She is looking down at the bunny, who is puffing contentedly in her arms while she strokes his soft fur. You take a deep breath, smiling back in gratitude. The aroma of the tea is wafting up to you. It smells like honey, nighttime flowers, a hint of something toasted, something creamy. You lift the mug to your lips and gently blow across the tea. Steam curls away, and your breath sends a ripple over the surface. You close your eyes and take a sip. The calming sensation is potent. It blooms over your tongue, your mouth, cascades down along your throat, spreading through your chest and down into your belly, seeping down the length of your legs like thick golden honey, into your ankles, your feet, your toes. Your body feels light, illuminated, and relaxed. Completely at ease. Your mind feels soft and clear. Each thought that you have drifts along, lingering for a moment before your consciousness, and drifting away again. Time seems to slow down. Everything around you grows both softer and more vivid. The woman holds out her mug and clinks its edge softly against yours. She pauses to breathe in the scent, then draws a long, warming sip from the mug, closing her eyes as well. She sets it down on the workbench with a muffled clunk and strokes the bunny's long, velvety ears before lowering him down to the cabin floor. The bunny blinks sleepily. He lifts his two front paws to his own little face and gives his nose a few gentle rubs. After a moment's pause, he hops slowly towards the back of the cabin. You both watch, smiling. With a gentle touch, the woman motions for you to follow. And you do. The sound of the water lapping against the sides of the boat is quiet and rhythmic. You pass through a little hall, its roof curved, a candlelit sconce illuminating the way. A plush rug is underfoot. It runs the length of the hall, and each step upon it feels like a cloud. You and the bunny follow it to a bedroom tucked away in the back of the boat. The room is dark. Diffuse orbs of silver light drift lazily in the air. These are fairy lights, you realize. They are pulsing, dim, then bright, dim, then bright, like fireflies drifting in the dark. The sound in here is hushed, veiled in a sleepy quiet. As you step into the room, the last traces of the day unfurl and drift away from your body. The boundaries of your energy are melding with the softness of the night. The walls of the room are rounded. A large oval window on the wall opposite where you stand reveals a spectacular, dark, and starry night over the river outside. Starlight glimmers faintly on the water, a trail of shimmering scales undulating on its surface. A soft breeze lifts the shadowy limbs of trees resting along the bank. They waver in the sweet night air, rustling against one another. Even in here, you can smell the freshness of the early spring permeating the night. You notice the bunny hopping across another plush rug toward what looks like a nest built into the curve of the wall. The nest is in fact a spacious, rounded bed. Tucked beside it on the floor is a burrow-like bunny bed. It is made of what looks like soft and sturdy wool and lined inside with a pile of fluffy sheep's fleece. You watch as the bunny hops inside. The burrow shifts and wobbles a bit as the bunny gets comfy. When it settles into stillness, you can just make out the bunny's nose resting on the ledge of the burrow's entrance. The faint rise and fall of the bunny's fluffy back in the cozy nook of his burrow as he breathes in and out. You walk towards the rounded bed beside him. The bed is ample and draped in bedclothes that look ancient, handcrafted, and lovingly mended for many years. The soft scent of freshly washed linen wafts around you. The blankets are a thick amethyst velvet. They are quilted, and when you brush your palm across the grain of the fabric, you discover they are sewn with the softest velvet you've ever felt. The quilted pieces are strewn with silken silver threads that shine. Starlight has been stitched into this sanctuary for sleep. The pillows are plush, covered in a luminous, airy fabric. The mattress is thick, supportive and soft all at once when you press down with your palm. And energy flows around it all. Quiet and deep, as if this bed were a portal to a dreamland you remember in the unspoken realms of your spirit. You feel deep in the heart of you that this is exactly where you are meant to be. You slip off your shoes and climb onto the bed, traversing the expanse of softness until you reach the pillows. You snuggle down under the blankets, settling under their comforting weight, and let your head sink into plush, airy support. A sensation of deep contentment floods your being. Your breath comes easily, naturally. Your chest rising and falling, soft and slow. Your eyelids have grown heavy, and though you know you could close them and drift easily into a deep sleep, you want to stay here just a little longer. In the velvet dark of this room, gazing through the enormous window at the glittering stars, and drifting with the sway of the boat as it rocks in the gentle current. The woman of the boat has appeared in the bedroom doorway. She is wrapped in a long, cozy robe now. A large, leather-bound book is tucked in her arms. Wide, round reading glasses, set in slim golden frames, are perched on her nose. There is a pale pink aura around her, pulsing softly. You can feel her goodnight wish drift over the room. A wish without a single word. She gestures her hand in the air, a slow, delicate movement, and the glowing orbs drifting around the room begin to dim until they are just barely visible in the shadows. She disappears into the little hall, her footfalls padding along the soft rug toward the other room. All is quiet. The faint crackle of the fire in the wood stove pops softly here and there. The wood of the little boat creaks and settles. Steady, tiny snores rumble softly from somewhere inside the bunny burrow. You are here. Breathing. Resting. Basking in the dreamy, enveloping quiet of this enchanted little boat. The stars outside are twinkling. The river is flowing. You are held in the soft embrace of the starlit velvet quilt. Your eyelids lower, heavy, relaxed. Your breaths become slower, deeper. You feel yourself drifting. Drifting. Softly into